A lot of the time before I head out of the door, I'm running out of time, but I do want to put some makeup on. Recently, I found myself sticking with the same routine and similar products for a really long time. Majority of the products I use are from Chanel. I figured I would share my recent go-to everyday look using Chanel makeup. Today, for primer, I used the Glowing Makeup Primer, Moisturizing and Plumping. I finally got to try this primer recently, and to my surprise, it wears beautifully on the skin. I really love this one. It gives you a very subtle glow, but it still feels very hydrating to the touch. If I'm not doing my makeup right after the skincare routine, I typically would do a little skin prep before I put makeup on. This primer is perfect for that. Previously, I mentioned the Le Beige Water Fresh tint is my all-time favorite. I'm using the shade Medium Light. So for this one, it is the perfect everyday tinted moisturizer. It's a light to medium coverage. If you want to build the coverage up, you can do 2-3 layers. It won't feel cakey on the skin. Typically, I would use this one all over my face. If my dark circle is extremely extreme that day, I will do 2 layers for my under eye area. That way it gives me a little bit more coverage, and I would just skip the concealer. Speaking of concealer, I didn't use it today, but it's another quick and easy favorite. This one is the Le Correcteur de Chanel in the shade 20 Beige. Those two are almost interchangeable in the sense I will use either or to focus on the area that I want to smooth out a little bit. So for this one, I will just use in the center of the face. It's very easy to blend out, and it's a skin-like finish, so it doesn't seem like certain areas you have makeup on, but other areas you're barefaced. Depends on the day, sometimes I will skip setting powder. I find for myself, whenever I'm applying makeup, I would spray my brush with setting spray and then blend it out. So that way I find even without a setting powder, it lasts a pretty decent amount of time. Also, me personally prefer a light coverage foundation or tinted moisturizer. So even if it worn off a little bit, it's not obvious at all. But recently I got the Natural Finish Loose Powder in the shade number 20 from Chanel. If you saw my previous video, you saw me unboxing this guy. It's such a nice fine powder. It doesn't feel powdery or cakey on the skin. Even if you prefer a dewy primer or dewy foundation, this one doesn't cover the glow finishes you have. A lot of the time when we are in a time crunch, we want to limit the steps we're using. But whenever I have like a holy grail products, I don't want to skip it. On the day that I don't have enough time, I wouldn't do the whole shebang. Pretty much primer, base, and powder would be the most I would do complexion-wise. And then I would just move to the eye area. For eyeshadow palette, I use the Le Beige Healthy Glow Natural Eyeshadow Palette in the shade Tender. This one is a really pretty warm tone pink palette. I find for everyday look, the Le Beige line is my holy grail. It gives you enough pigment to blend with, but you wouldn't say like, oh my god, the amount of pigment. But I find that's perfect type of palette for a beginner in the sense you won't go wrong with it. It's super easy to blend and work with. And if you want the color to be more vivid and vibrant, all you need to do is just take your time to build it. So for today's look, I only used 2 shades out of the 5. So I used the bottom right corner shade all over the lid, and then I used the shade beside it for the inner portion of the lid. This inner lid shade has beautiful glitter in it. It's definitely very sparkly. It's just when the light catches it, you will notice it. On the daily basis, even if it's not a Chanel palette, my other favorite would be the mini Natasha Denona palette. I typically would just use 2 shades. One transition shade for the outer lid and lower lash line. One shimmery or metallic shade for the inner portion of the eyelid. That way it's very quick and easy, and it gives me enough color for my eye to pop. Whenever I got a new product, I always drag to open and use them. This year, not this year, probably next year, I really want to work on it. Whenever I purchase something, instead of saving them or keep them away, I really need to start using them. So for mascara, I have the combo of the mascara primer and the new Noir Allure mascara in the shade number 10 Noir. For this line, it's fairly new and I don't think there is another color yet. I'm a huge fan of this packaging. It just follows the Allure lipsticks. It kind of clicks and open. Super fun. The reason why I'm saying I'm dragging to use new product is because I actually have a sample of the Allure mascara. I really like the formula and I do really like the mascara wand. The bristles are very short and firm, so for my tiny lashes it's very friendly to use. While I'm doing my makeup, I was trying to finish the mini one before I opened this full-size one, and besides the wrap, I couldn't find it anywhere. So, I wasn't too happy about opening the new one, but makeup expires. I need to use them before they gone bad. But yeah, so far I really like this. In general, for mascara wands, I do prefer a skinnier brush because my lashes are so tiny, and this one is very friendly even for my bottom lashes. If you haven't tried it out, I highly recommend. Don't worry, I typically put my shadows before my mascara, and today I'm just all over the place. I wanted to use the concealer, but I put my powder on already. I guess I just love that powder that much. And same thing with mascara. I put the primer and the mascara on, and then I realized I did not even do an eye look yet. So in the close-up, if you saw the shadow is after the mascara, that's why. Last but not least, lips. So I'm a huge lipstick or lip product junkie, so I don't have a go-to one that I would wear every single day, and in fact I prefer to wear something different every day. So for today I picked the Rouge Allure Luxtract. It is similar packaging with the mascara where it has the clicky opening and closure. I couldn't find the shade name anywhere. I want to say it's either 812 or 816. It's one of the limited edition one when they first launch. Maybe because it's a refillable packaging, so they don't want to print the actual shade on the tube. So it's in the box, but I don't have the box anymore. But it's a really beautiful, bright, orangish red shade. It has very fine glitter inside if you're staring at the tube, but once you put it on the lips, you won't even see it. So when I swatch it on the back of my hand, the full pigment looks really bright. When I put it on my lips, I prefer to dab them all over, so it just gives me a nice wash of color. For this formula, I wouldn't consider it's like a super long-lasting bulletproof lipsticks. It gives you full long pigment, but you do want to carry it with you and reapply throughout the day. That's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed it so far. Leave me a comment down below, let me know what's the makeup item you can't leave the door without putting it on. I know for a lot of people are brows, mascaras, or some people need an eyeliner. If you love Chanel makeup, I also have my 2022 holiday collection videos up. Definitely go check it out, it's a beautiful collection. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in that video. Bye!